Welcome to POSTCAST tonight. David Locke along with Ron Boone as the Utah Jazz put together 40 minutes of really, really good basketball, and it gets undone in the final 8 minutes. The Jazz allow 41 fourth-quarter points. They only shoot 29% in that fourth quarter while allowing the Pelicans to shoot 67%. And the really bummer part about it is the Jazz led this one in that fourth quarter by 14 early, by 9 with 8:27 left, by 9 with 8:05 left. Pelicans went on a 13-2 run. Then the Jazz stabilized themselves for a minute, held on to their lead, got it back down to 2, and then fell apart again. And really two different waves of Pelicans attacking them. Pelican attack. Sorry. And it negates 40 minutes of really good basketball by the Jazz tonight.
Yeah, 40 minutes, and that was exactly right, David, because I'm thinking here the Jazz shoot 29% there in the fourth quarter, and they still shoot 50% from the game. That's how well they were playing, how well they were scoring, how easy they were scoring for the most part, getting into the paint and really getting it done. 68 points in the paint for the Jazz tonight, and I don't even think they scored in the paint there in the fourth quarter.
Well, in the paint, the Jazz ended up going 5 of 14 in the fourth. I'll look it up while we're doing the show. The Jazz had been living in the restricted area. I mean, it was really a theme of our broadcast of how is it possible that this New Orleans team allows this many points in the restricted area, this many shots. The Jazz have taken over 50% of their shots in the restricted area going into the fourth quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, for whatever reason, couldn't get there. And, it's hard to kind of, it happens, I think, maybe before you realize it's happening, that they fall apart. But if you look at that fourth quarter, I've got the shot chart up. The Jazz went 4 of 10 in the restricted area in that quarter. Still getting 10 attempts, frankly, is a lot out of 24. I mean, the Pelicans' defense is not that good, but it clamped, I guess, either the Jazz missed shots or they clamped down late. And some of those are tip-ins, I think, that the Jazz didn't get. And some of the Jazz players the Jazz need to have good fourth quarters didn't have them. Gordon Hayward, 1 of 3. His three-point shot is way off right now. He's 4 of his last 25. Alec Burks' fourth quarter reads like a Friday the 13th horror movie. 1 of 8 from the field and 2 turnovers.
That was just in the fourth quarter. Ended up 6 for 18.
And
That's 16 points, and he did have 4 assists.
And Trey Burke, who had an unbelievable start to the game, he really initiated everything for the Jazz tonight. I have 14 first quarter points, went 5 of 5, had the most points he's ever had in a quarter, finishes with 16 points. He just never got going again in the game.
Yeah, thank goodness for Cantor, though.
He was great.
Played 36 minutes, 12 for 22 there from the field, 7 rebounds. How about this? 6 of those 7 rebounds, David, come on the offensive glass.
Well, probably like more than 1 defensive rebound would be a quick comment from somebody there, but you're right. Career high 29. And the Jazz got bench scoring tonight. They got 10 from Trevor Booker, and they got 12, a career high for Dante Exum.
Yeah, Exum I thought looked very good. I mean, sometimes he gets in a little hurry and gets caught with nowhere to go. But I thought he looked very good tonight, and I just love the way he plays defense.
Well, he's trying awfully hard. The Jazz negated Drew Holiday tonight, who had scored 30 in 2 of their last 3 games, took him out of the game. Anthony Davis returned. He had 31, and he is the whole package. And when Tyreek Evans, the game really flipped when Tyreek Evans kind of reinserted himself in the game, got rolling, and then once you had to worry about Tyreek Evans and they could roll Tyreek Evans into a low pick and roll with Anthony Davis, it became pretty unguardable.
It seemed like Tyreek Evans was just waiting for the fourth quarter because I thought he was just going through the motions there for the most part. And throughout the basketball game, and then in the fourth quarter he started putting the ball on the floor and getting to the hole. Ended up picking up.
Well, he had 9 of his 19. You're absolutely right, Ron. He had 9 of his 19 in the fourth quarter, and more importantly, he had 4 assists in that quarter as well. So he attributed to 17 of their 41 points in that quarter. What has to happen for this team to be able to close games a little bit better than this? I'm watching Orlando a lot. I really like the Orlando team. And I watch Orlando all the time for 3 quarters. I'm convinced they're going to be really good and they're going to make the playoffs. And then I get up and I go back and check the score and they've lost.
Yeah.
And it's as though they just don't know how to finish a game or they don't believe in themselves to finish a game.
It's like they play two different styles, and I'm going to use the Jazz as an example here. From what we were watching there in that first quarter, when the Jazz outscored the Pelicans 26-20 in that first quarter, they were pushing the basketball up the floor, pushing the basketball ahead of the defense, and getting some transition points, getting things, that just got things going. I thought very early in the basketball game. Then that seemed, well, especially in that fourth quarter, it just seemed like they went right back to that half court game. The pace of play really changed.
So the Jazz fall tonight, 119-111. Let's go to Andy with a question from the fans. I like Trey, but it's looking more and more like he can't guard NBA-level point guards. Could this be a lack of effort, size, and strength, or experience? It's not a lack of effort. Yeah. It might be the other.
Size has a lot to do with that, and when you're that size, you have to have the effort. Definitely has to be there. You have to be physical. You have have good foot speed, and like Dante has great foot speed and uses it to his advantage. And I think Trey, I'd like to see Trey do that as well.
6 feet tall point guard's hard. Very, very hard in this league to be a 6 foot tall point guard going off that many picks all night long. Trey's trying to improve at it. You can see him work at it. There's a concerted effort on his part to try to get there. You always worry. I think every NBA player's game, maybe Ron will disagree with me, works together. So sometimes I think what you worry about is when he's suddenly in a shooting slump. And he's, as he was before tonight, he was shooting 30% in the last 5 games. Well, does he suddenly start taking defensive plays off because he's worried about his offensive legs? Those kind of things, I think, get into young players' heads a little bit. Frankly, this league, you survive because you can score. So there's always that game going on with a young player before they've established who they are in this league, where they're probably preserving themselves a little bit for the offensive end of the floor. But you're right. Size and strength and experience are issues for Trey that he can't do anything about either of those right now.
He's not going to grow anymore here. But, you just touched on something there that a lot of times young players feel like if they're not scoring, they're not adding anything, or they're to the team, to the success of the team. They feel like they're not playing well unless they're scoring. And when that's definitely not the case. But you do run into that.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Ryan. Ryan's always nice enough to give us his nightly question. Last season, the Jazz in their first 25 games had 12 games with 6 to 10 point differential. This season, they have 9 games with a 1 to 5 point differential. Ryan just got me on one I didn't know. I'm impressed by Ryan. Very impressed. Is that progress? I think so.
Yeah, without a doubt, there's progress. That's for sure. And with this being such a young basketball team, you wouldn't expect that, but it is.
You've got to find they need wins, right? And they only need wins because it helps them continue to further develop. But this is a team that is going through little steps of development tonight, and I think you're seeing them. And this is clearly a case got better tonight. Trevor understood what was needed out of him tonight a little bit more and came a little bit more surge with Favors out of the lineup. And I think you're seeing all these guys take different steps. Tonight they look like a more cohesive group. They played with a better pace. They were better tonight than they have been in other nights. So those are the kind of progress steps that you're looking for along the way. They've got to win some games to believe in themselves and find ways to win. Maybe we can get one tomorrow in Miami. I do not think they'll have Chris Bosh, and Miami is playing tonight. So then Dwayne Wade is on a back end of a back-to-back. So maybe
won't play there.
Maybe it'll be a good night where you get Miami and he's a little short. So Jazz fall tonight against New Orleans, 119-111. Anthony Davis is all that, 31, 9, and 3 block shots tonight. Have a good night. Be